How do we know what true love is? From the Beatles, we are told by John Lennon that all we need is love and everything will be fine. From 9 Inch Nails, we are told that love is not enough and to make it work, both sides have to actually put in effort. One of them beat their wife and abandoned his kid, and the other is in a 17-year marriage with 6 kids. Could you guess who? Correct! John Lennon! What an amazing man. Just kidding. It's obviously the guy from 9 Inch Nails. So, does that mean that maybe the lead singer Trent Reznor is actually closer to the meaning of true love that we so desire and want to know of? Or is it an entire different concept that requires something way more important?
Yourself.
I have nothing against the Beatles. To be fair, I listen and know far more songs from them than from 9 Inch Nails, and I'm not saying Reznor is a saint, but when it comes to relationships, you have to recognize how often John Lennon specifically wrote about love whilst being a horrible person towards the people he kept close, and how easy it is to come to the conclusion that someone always talking about love, falling in love, falling out of love, is a person who can't maintain a relationship. And when they fall out of love, they most often imply that it was simply not true love. So that's it. If I don't like something in a person or something feels off, it must not be true love and should move to someone else? In that case, when will we find our true love then? Until we give up and decide it's much easier to have a relationship with a chatbot that tells us everything we wanted to? Thankfully, looking at people with that mentality, we can easily deduct that this version of love is not true love. Could you argue it's love? Sure, yeah, maybe in some form, but in my opinion it certainly isn't something that can be maintained for the long term. We could even argue it as a form of lust where we have these unrealistic expectations of the person opposite to you. Sometimes you can see it play out in one of those 100 men versus 1 woman videos where a man or a woman has some standards that don't really matter for true love to exist. So then, is the version of love of Trent Reznor the actual true love? In the song Love Is Not Enough, we get these lyrics. Reznor implies that in order for one relationship to not only exist but to also be thriving, it should not be covered with simple acts of love and happiness at all times, because that's not what sustains a relationship. A relationship is sustained through deep conversations and struggles, of which there are many. Not to say that a relationship is something that you should be unhappy with, but something that takes work to actually maintain in order to keep it lasting. And sometimes even compensations have to be made in order to find the balance between yourself and your partner. To use the same example from the 1 man 100 woman videos, in this version of love we do not only see the external factors. We find a person we want to be in a relationship with, but they have some differences to the perfect perception of our partner. Does it matter? Fuck no, it doesn't. I get it that the people in the videos probably overreact with their standards for more views, but I think it's still an issue that happens in the real world, since the #1 way of finding a partner nowadays is through dating apps. If you like the person and you want to maintain a relationship and eventually reach true love, then there is a need of compensating of your perfect partner. So, assuming we're on one term that Lennon's version of love is not true and Reznor is closer to it and we have to make compensations to have it, I want to ask you, until when do we draw the line on the compensations? Because what if sometimes a situation occurs when the thing you have to compensate is something really important to you? Is true love really worth it then? This type of scenario we can hear in a song by Radiohead, True Love Waits. Personally, my favorite and most depressing Radiohead song ever made, especially the acoustic version of it. If you feel like life has been feeling a little too good lately, just listen to the song for a depression trip. In it, Tom Yorke describes this exact scenario of compensating to keep a relationship, to keep a person close just because they are our partner. The way I think of this type of love in the song is as death to the self. It mentions how we would rather abandon our own beliefs and personal values in order to keep this person in our life. And while it does sound cute and all, it is very terrifying if that is what it actually takes to find true love. If sacrifice is required to abandon your passions and your dreams all for this person, is it even worth pursuing this type of love? Now, I am no relationship expert, but I think if you have to betray your own core values for a person, then that person is simply not for you. I agree with Trent and Tom that sacrifices and compensations are needed, but not to an extreme. A relationship exists because of two people liking each other and having the same or similar beliefs, but that may not be the case every time. In those situations, abandoning your own beliefs like dreams or religion for the sake of someone else's will bring only more hate for that person because, surprise surprise, they are not you. You might have fallen in love with them, their beliefs and their values, but that doesn't mean that they should become yours. As long as they align with you and you have respect for your differences, then in my opinion, you are on the right path. Yes, there will be disagreements and tough conversations, but what matters most is that you have no ill intent for what the other believes in. When you do have that ill intent, you either obsess over them to the point where you forget yourself and suffer the scenario of Tom Yorke, or you distance yourself and go bouncing to another partner in the scenario of John Lennon. To summarize, I think that love can occur to everyone, but making it into a true and lasting love, you need to have depth between yourself and your partner, whether it means having hard conversations or compensating some things. The fact that they're the same height as you and not taller, the fact that they're annoying, normal things, but again, compensating your core values will only hurt you even more. And now I ask you, do you think this video we found out the truth about love, or do you think I've just yapped about some general shit and total nonsense this entire time? Let me know what you think. Who is closer to true love? Yorke, Reznor, or Lennon? Or just share your version of it. Thank you for watching and subscribe.